Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astrogat Mysore. Today I am taking up some questions which have been listed down in the comment section of the Gajakesari Yoga. Some of the questions are not pertaining to the Gajakesari Yoga, but anyway, one of my YouTube follower has persistently asking good questions. These are very good questions. Let me answer them. And the first question I am answering today is of from Yana Popova, and she has asked me a question telling that if a person in a life is related to you, because many planets are there, each planet will have different karakas, like one is bhratru karaka for brothers and siblings, one is putra karaka for children, the other one is matula karaka for uncles, one is matru karaka for mother, the other one is pitru karaka for father. So many planets, many karakatwas, that is significations. Her question is, if a person is giving you a lot of trouble in your life, in reality, and the planet which represents that particular person, if it is badly placed in your chart, does it mean that this person will be continuously tormenting you? Or if we cut off that person totally from our life, that is either leave that place and go far away somewhere and settle down somewhere and say that whether my life will be better, that's what she is asking, because she is also referring to the Gajakesari yoga, and she is telling that Jupiter in the 6th and Moon in the 12th for the Cancer ascendant. That's what is a personal chart, but I'll not go into the personal charts, as you all know. The point is extremely complicated to understand, that if at all you can cut off relationship with a person whom you think is represented by a planet which is badly posited in your chart. Very difficult to do that. It is not easy. Like, for example, if there is a Pitrudosha in the chart, Pitrudosha means many things. But let us say, one particular example is taken. Let us say that the father himself is not that good, or is not doing good to the children, and he's continuously tormenting by let us take one example, wherein I have a chart with me where the father is a habitual drinker. you know he has succumbed to alcoholism, so he's an alcoholic. So the problem is that the son, very decent and respectable, goes through a lot of difficulty when he has to entertain anybody at home. So he keeps asking me that I should perform my duties to my father, but my father is you know totally unsocial, very difficult to handle this person. So should I cut off, which I don't want to do, because I feel that my karma, that is my duty, I have to take care of my father in his old age. This gentleman who is retired keeps sitting in the house, always drunk, always high. His the what we call has is always rich in alcohol in his body. So the problem here is that until the yoga persists in your chart, you will not be able to cut off, or he will not leave you. This is what is called as prarabdha karma. It's very difficult to cut off from close relationships, though that person is tormenting you throughout life or for a longer period. This is what we call as prarabdha. It is extremely difficult. When the time comes, these are all dhrida karmas. Dhrida karmas are fixed karmas. When the time comes, the native will surely get the comfort and the ease from this problem by itself. So I hope this is a very tricky thing. It's not easy to answer. So I have trying to give you some clarity in this. Next question in this section has been asked by Ram Kumar Kotamasu. So what he is asking is whether Jupiter and Moon have to be together to form a Gajakesari Yoga, or whether they are in respective Kendras. Very simple. Gajakesari Yoga definition is when Jupiter is in Kendra from Moon. Obviously, Moon is also in Kendra from Jupiter. That is, if you take Moon in as a Lagna, Jupiter should be either with it or in the 4th, 7th, and the 10th houses from the Moon. And the next question what you are asking, continued from there is, if Moon gets afflicted, let us say Jupiter is in the 4th from Moon or in the 7th from Moon. If Moon gets afflicted, does the Gajakesari Yoga formation fail? Surely it gets transformed. There is a lot of transformation which happens there. It gets modified, whether benefically or malefically, it gets modified. Either it is lifted up by a beautiful another planet, like let us say Venus is sitting, or it's pulled down if let us say a Saturn or a Rahu is sitting along with Moon. So same thing happens when a malefic planet is posited with Jupiter. Let us say Jupiter is in the 10th house from Moon, and Jupiter has a malefic planet like Saturn or a Rahu sitting along with it. Then what happens is the Gajakesari Yoga fails to a certain extent. You need to calculate and understand how much it actually passes and how much it fails, but still it fails to a certain extent. So I am going to the next question, which is nowhere related to the Gajakesari Yoga. It's asked by Anup Desai, who very clearly has asked me, forget about the Gajakesari Yoga, how it gives difficulty to a woman who wants to progress in life but is tied up with the family bonding and family responsibility. That's what I was talking when I and my wife were discussing Gajakesari Yoga in Dustanas. But his question, beautiful question. What about the Ruchaka Yoga in a female and how she has to handle it? And the question is, forget about Gajakesari Yoga in a female horoscope. Think about the frustration a Ruchaka Yoga will cause in a woman's chart. Obviously, this is a very tough thing to go through. Very tough thing. It's a very nice question, because when we do horoscopy, female horoscopy, wherein strong yogas, like Indira Gandhi had a very strong yoga. That's why she became the Prime Minister of India. Margaret Thatcher had a strong yoga. Many people had very strong yogas. So that's why, though being a female in a male-dominated society, you can see this still till now, male domination is there in the political setup, in the armies, in the police. Male domination is there. But does Ruchaka Yoga still torment or frustrate a woman? I don't think so, because now that the world has opened up, people are getting into stronger jobs where muscular strength is required, physical strength is required. Women are still there, they are doing it. If the man of the house can support the lady, then the lady can achieve a lot. This I would request men, not only of our country in India, but around the world. Give an opportunity to your wife. Let her also try to become something if she wants to, and she is not getting the opportunity only because the family binding is, so many duties are there in the family which actually binds both the husband and the wife to take care of responsibilities. I'm not telling that you need to tear this apart and give the freedom, or you need to tear this apart and do something No, freedom is not that you should leave the family and do something yourself, but freedom of thought and freedom of professionalism is that inclusive, that is with the family I can do something and show that I can achieve something in my life. So that is real freedom and real identity of a person. So a good question by Anup Desai. There are two more questions by Anup Desai. Mercury and Mars, whether the person will be an orator, whether a person will be good in speech, I don't know. You can judge yourself. I have Mercury and Mars in the third house. So in the house of communication, I am very, sometimes very blunt when I speak, sometimes very rude. I'm trying to, become humble myself. Very difficult to do that. It's by nature, it's not that easy. So Mercury and Mars, of course, the person will be argumentative, stubborn, will be fixed to his value systems, and surely he'll be a good orator, a good teacher, a good tutor if his background knowledge is good. If the background knowledge is bad, Mercury and Mars can give you a person who is a frustrative, argumentative, and very critical and cynical with the situation which he is around. The another question which you know I liked in with Anup Desai is asking me that does a powerful planet in the eighth house, because we were talking about the Dustanas, and his question is that you were saying something about Sagittarius Lagna, the yoga in the eighth house, that is the Gajakesari yoga in the eighth house, that the person will become rich. Obviously, the person will have a lot of focus towards development and becoming rich, because Gajakesari yoga is a yoga for the social cause, but still a social cause can be achieved by a person who has some financial stability and background. Then he can achieve more. It's not that only, we usually tell that the service can be done in three ways: Tanu, Mana, and Dhana. Tanu is like physical work. You go there and do it. Mana, you know, mentally you are prepared and you prepare people also. You can make people think in that one particular way and follow it. So it's like preaching. Dhana is like if you have the resource, you can do a lot of service. So Tanu Mana Dhana. So in this case, if a person can become rich because of the strong Gajikesri Yoga in the 8th house, because it is also the 11th from the 10th house. If you count from the 10th, it is the 11th house. That is the Labhasthana for your profession. So person will actually make a lot of progress. And the second question is, related to this is, does a powerful planet in the 8th make a person rich? Does an exalted 8th lord make a person rich as well? Yes, both of them are true. If there is a very strong and powerful planet in the 8th house, which is a benefit for that particular ascendant, surely the person will make excellent progress in his life with regard to richness. And yes, if the 8th lord is exalted, a person will be very rich in his life. Though he will be going through a lot of litigations, a lot of other things which is related to the 8th house, but still he will have a lot of richness. So I think I have covered. Let me see further if I can take another question. Yeah, Sanjeev Thakur has asked whether Mrs. Agarwal, that is my wife, is also a professional astrologer. Yes, she is a professional astrologer. She helps me a lot in the background work, and because I alone cannot do this much of work myself. So, yes, it works. And there is one more question, asked by Adi Shankara. He is telling that I am having Gajikesari Yoga in the 12th house and Sun and Venus in the 8th house. He is not asking me anything. He is telling me you're bang on, sir. God bless you. Okay, fine. So the Gajakesari in the 12th house, a fantastic placement for ethical living, ethical thinking, you know ethical living, having value based life system is a very rare thing to see nowadays, because the world has become, it's a fast moving economy, is fast. People think that they have to get things sooner than their parents. Their parents, they feel that their parents were very slow, their grandparents were actually dead, they were not moving at all. They were all situated in the villages like farmers doing nothing. The parents were going to some factories, some company. She was a teacher, somehow it was running. And now they feel that they have got the opportunity to get things faster, buy a car fast, buy a house fast, establish themselves into things faster and sooner. So this speed requires a very strong and malefic planet in the 12th house. But here, with the Gajakesari yoga in the 12th house, these people love those traditional values. They know they go in a normal pace. They give a lot of time for themselves. They give a lot of time for study. They give a lot of time for the family. They love relationships. So, Gajakesari yoga in the 12th house is a good thing. So, yeah, Adi Shankara was not asking a question, but actually, thank you very much. So, I think I'll finish this session of answering questions for Gajakesari Yoga. Thank you very much. God bless.